Hello, good evening, and welcome to a special Now Debate. I'm Jared Walters here with my good friend Richard Oliver. Richard, how are you?
I'm good. I am good, Jazzy.
Well, you're looking a bit like the double-headed queen to me at the moment, so excuse my thing on the. I just had to move my display there, and I think you guys should be able to see me okay now. So Rich, it's been quite a newsworthy couple of weeks, to be honest, isn't it?
It's 2020, but it just keeps on giving. It is the madness that is planet Earth. What can
Well,
you do?
well, we've got a large number of monoliths that are now appearing over, basically around planet Earth. We have an Israeli space veteran, or head of the Space Force, basically, which we'll delve into as well. Coming out, he's released a book, and he had an interview which was translated for the Jerusalem Chronicle, I believe, went over the world. Apparently, the Israeli forces and American forces have been involved in talks with the Galactic Federation. And we also have the Great Conjunction coming up on December 21st. Some people believe that to be the real end of the Mayan calendar. But all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff going on in the news at the moment. And I just thought we'd do this special report so we could cover all of it, because there's quite a significant amount to actually talk about, and involved in some of the things that we've been given with regards to our communications and responses from Spirit and the Council of 12. So, I'm going to hand the floor over to you, my friend, and, just give us some of your intake and insight into what's been happening as of late.
Well, anyway, hello, Parapeeps. I hope you're doing all right. It's been. I'm doing some research on it today, and it is quite an interesting story. The fact it's made mainstream news. If you look back at, I think it's Paul Herier, who was the Canadian, who said the same thing, but it did remind me, and I don't know if any of the Parapeeps watching have ever seen the report. It happened, I think it was like the 26th of the 11th, 1977. Where it was, I think it's how you say, is Virilion, the Astric Galactic Federation, where they hacked the news, and they say something very similar. No one's ever come forward with it, and it's kind of interesting. It has the same sort of, it's the same thing. It's the same beings that are talking, and what this gentleman is talking about. So it's kind of weird how it all seems to fit.
Now,
it's a bit bizarre.
I forgot about the ITV hack, and I'm wondering, actually, could we bring that up on screen? And I'm not sure if we get what it called with copyright for it. But or at least bring up on screen what it actually said. I remember that, and yeah, I forgot all about that. That it wasn't it on ITV that it happened?
I got it was on like a
It was in Britain,
Northwest. Okay, it was a Northwest channel. It was like, because years ago the channels had their own regions.
Yes,
and
that's right.
It was like Northwest Telly. And basically, it hacked into it, and people freaked out. People panicked, and I read an article on it years ago, and he said, "Oh, it's obviously a prank, but no one's come forward." But it's not obviously a prank, then, is it? I mean, it was. I mean, the way it was done. I mean, telly has been hacked before. The TV has been hacked, but normally it's done
the Max Headroom stuff, and and things like that.
Done with a bit of satire, and it's it comes out that who done it and this and that, but no one ever come forward with that. And what he was saying is exactly the same as what the space minister is saying. We're not ready, we're not there. And I mean, that's I mean, that's a given, right? As a planet, there, right? We shouldn't be allowed out anywhere in the universe,
We're
really.
grounded. We're grounded for bad behaviour.
Grounded, grounded. You know, unfortunately, that this a very few of us who are enlightened enough, shall I say, to understand that it's all part of the same story and that this world needs a shake-up. And not in any malevolent way, or people don't have to, lose their lives or anything, but it just needs a shake-up, a spiritual awakening, if you like. And that's this, I believe, I can't remember. I know it was something about like wars, and I can remember it said something funny about the energy of money, I believe it said. Well, and I can always remember reading that and thinking, why did it say the energy of money? It was kind of weird. It's a weird thing, and it I think it has relevance.
Well, let's have a quick look to see if we can actually. I don't like doing this, but it's the second time I've done this because you've brought this up, and I didn't think, to actually look this up. Well, you only just reminded me it happened, but ITV hack. What was it? Let's see.
77. It was like the 26th of the 11th, 1977. I'm sure the date, because I was wondering if the date was significant. And I remember looking back at it.
I wish you'd mentioned this before the show. Well, we've got quite a lot of things to sort of go through. It says the moment that Alien it became legend. Let's just see if we've actually can get a transcript here of what it actually said. I've got something up on screen now, but yeah, I don't think we're actually going to be able to. I've got the actual video here, but I don't think we're going to actually find a transcript online, sadly.
It's online because I can remember reading it, but the video is very grainy and it's very hard to hear.
This is the voice of Verlon, a representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command. Speaking to you. For many years we have seen us as the lights in the sky. We speak to you now in peace and wisdom, as we have done your brothers and sisters all over this, your planet Earth. We come to warn you of your destiny, your race, and your world, so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid disaster which threatens your world and the beings in our world around you. This is in order that you may share in the Great Awakening. As the planet passes into the new age of Aquarius, the new age can be a time of great peace and evolution for your race, but only if your rulers are made aware of the evil forces that can overshadow their judgments. Be still now and listen, for your chance may not come again. All your weapons of evil must be removed. The time for conflict is now past, and the race of which you are a part may proceed to the higher stages of its evolution. If you show yourselves worthy to do this, you have but a short time to learn to live together in peace and goodwill. Small groups all over the planet are learning this and exist to pass the light on the dawning of the new age. You are free to accept or reject their teachings, but only those who learn to live in peace will pass in the higher realms of spiritual evolution. Hear now the voice of Verlon, a representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Be aware also that there are many false prophets and guides at present operating on your world. They will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put it into evil end and give you worthless dross in return. Your inner divine self will protect you from this. You must learn to be sensitive to the voice within that can tell you what is truth and what is confusion, chaos, and untruth. Learn to listen to the voice of truth which is within you, and you will learn. yourselves on, or you will lead yourselves onto a path of evolution. Let's just very quickly bring this up into the browser capture so you guys can see it. Path of evolution. This is our message to our dear friends. We have watched you growing for many years, as you have watched our lights in your skies. You know now that we are here, and that there are more beings on and around your Earth than your scientists admit. We are deeply concerned about you and your path towards the light, and we will do all we can to help you. Have no fear. Seek only to know yourselves and live in harmony with the ways of your planet Earth. We of Ashtar Galactic Command thank you for your attention. We are leaving the planes of existence. May you be blessed by the supreme love and truth of the cosmos. Well, that's a sermon if I've ever heard one, but...
Yeah. I can remember, I've looked at that for years. I've tried to find, information on it, and there is none. I mean, they did an investigation into it. I mean, this is before the days of Ofcom and stuff like that.
Yeah, and 1970s.
Yeah, 77. I mean, and no one has ever came forward. And it's kind of an open-ended book. It kind of doesn't leave you. It just leaves you thinking about it. No one's ever come forward. And I don't know, it's strange. I mean, if you heard it, I mean, it's got kind of an old Doctor Who feel to the voice.
Yes, and when you watch it. Just for the guys who have just joined, what we're talking about the Israeli space minister, or retired space minister who retired in 2011. Communication coming forward and saying apparently Israeli and the US government have communication with a Galactic Federation, and Richard has brought up the TV hack that happened in England in 1977, and that's what we're talking about. Sorry, Rich. Some people in the chat were actually asking what was I reading out, so I thought I would answer them.
No worries. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of, if you listen to it and you listen to what this gentleman is saying, I mean, it kind of ties in. It ties into what we've been having with the Council of 12. Yeah. It's got the same vibe. It's saying, look, do this. You've got more than the potential to move forward, but at the moment you're just all money mad and blowing each other up. It's written, it's set in stone, and it's just interesting. It's just interesting, man.
Well, I'm looking at this now, so I'm just going to bring up the browser capture again, and I just want to draw your attention to just how sort of mainstream some of this stuff has. Just bring it up on screen. This is about the metal monoliths. We're going to get to that later. I'm just going to bring this, give you guys a little bit of an insight into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So this is some of the stuff, the articles we're going to be going through. But this is the one I wanted to look at from Forbes here. So just going back here. And it says 2020 looks to be ending with a bang with the reveal of the Galactic Federation. The end of the year 2020 is fast approaching. With instability, anxiety, and downright weirdness of 2020 has long morphed into a meme. The global pandemic, along with the other sci-fi-esque plot twists following, led to jokes as surely an alien invasion is imminent, being the only event that could top the rest of the year. And this basically goes into, essentially the guy is writing a book. Or his book was published in November, and what he's basically said in interviews about the book is that essentially there was a meeting, or meetings have taken place between several governments, notably the US and Israeli governments, with this Galactic Federation, and Trump knows about it and was going to blow the whistle but was stopped. Now, that I find quite interesting. and that basically there has been an agreement to do experiments. Now, the
Yes.
first thing I think of, right, because we know from what we've been told that the Council of 12 will go by many names. They know in the Bible as the Divine Council, the 12 Pillars. They're known by different. They're referenced in different cultures by different things, right? So we know, but we also know they are, people who have had these sort of contactee experiences have met other councils. You've got the Galactic Federation, you've got the Arcturians, the Palladians, the Council of Nine, the Council of Five, if you look at Linda Milton Howe's work. So the first thing is I'm thinking of is a witch council, because, there's lots of them. And I don't think all of them have humanity's, best good in them. Now, this could just be a guy that's, wanted to get a bit of media buzz, which certainly, because it was NBC that picked this up after the Jerusalem Post. So it could just be a guy looking to get a bit of media buzz, for his book that he's come out with. Or there could be some legitimate truth to it. So if there is legitimate truth for it, which one is he speaking with?
Well, I suppose the only way to really know for sure is the language they speak, because, there's some power in language. And as I've said on this channel, and as we said on the Now debate, that the message we are getting through the ITC equipment from the Council of 12 has such spiritual connotations. And to look at, if you look, I've looked at the Bible, and I find most of it just contradictory, and there's some bizarre things in the Bible, like that coincide with each other. If you look at it, it's quite incredible how the book has been rewritten so many times, but it has so many synchronicities in it, right? Which is kind of extraordinary. But there's a message that comes from Jesus. Now, I mean, nobody really knows if he existed. There's some books that say he was a warrior, like the Bible of Barnabas, the Bible of Judas. There's some say he was a prince. There's some say there was this. There's some say, there's people that's investigating and say that he didn't exist at all. That doesn't take away the fact that whatever was said in that book, and I believe it was said by a man, is super spiritual. And I mean beyond spiritual, right? He came to a spiritual understanding of the world around him. And there's lots of things, lots of people who have done the same thing. And I think you've got to look at it like that. You need to know what they want and what they're saying. And it's hard to disguise a non-spiritual intention. I mean, it's easy to be lied to, right? That's quite a given. The government and the media do it to us all the time. But you can see through that quite clearly. You can see through it. And, you look at Nick Hancock. I mean, he was crying on telly. Matt Hancock was crying on telly. I mean, he looked like a serial killer that just found out they were looking for someone under his shed. He's appealing for someone that he knows he's killed. And that's how he was portraying himself on telly. It was insane to watch. And, you can see through it. You can see through that veil. And that we need to know more. So I wait to see what this book is about, and is it any more on the story before I make a judgment?
Well, I don't think that. Let's have a look at at this gentleman then, and see what any more information we can glean from him. This is a Wikipedia post. His name is Haim Eshed. I do apologise. I've probably butchered that name if he ever watches this. He's retired Brigadier General in the Israeli Defense Force, Professor of Asher Space Research Institute of Techno-Israel Institute of Technology. At the Techno-Israel Institute of Technology. And former Director of Space Program, Israel Ministry of Defense, for 30 years. So this guy isn't like just some random dude. He's not even like some random politician that was elected for 4 years and, you know, disappeared off the scene, you know. Someone, unless you were sort of like interested in politics, that a certain sort of politicians stay in power or something, that, you know, that is gone today, here today, gone tomorrow. This guy has been around for 30 years. You know, he's a decorated general. In 1967, he was awarded the Chief of Staff citation for the highest non-combat decoration awarded by the Israeli Defense Force. Throughout his career, he has received the Israeli Defense Prize. You know, his career is basically in surveillance satellites and launching the, you know, OFEC 7 surveillance satellite. You know, and he comes out with these claims. This, you know,
short of a bob. No, I can't see it being for money, because he can't be short of a bob or two.
No,
there's no way. That's a big paying job, and that comes with quite a grand retirement plan, I should imagine.
If you've had honours and that sort of stuff, yeah, you know, this is not something that, you know, it could be subversion. You know, it could be some sort of subversion to sort of like, I suppose, if you know something is going to come out anyway, or is coming out anyway, right? You kind of like put something out to sort of, so you've kind of beat the curve then. So when something else comes out, they can say, well, yeah, we've already discussed this in this article. You know, the mainstream news had hold of it, and that sort of thing. So, you know, that's, it could be something like that. It could be, you know, that type of argument. But like you said, it'll be interesting to see what else starts coming out, because to literally come out with something like that, now, you know,
dribs and drabs.
Yeah, but like to come out with, like, this is stuff that, you know, I'm not being funny, but I'm really weird with when it comes to channeling, right? If it's someone I know, or I'm on an investigation, they're doing it in front of me, right? I'm a little bit more of a believer. I will validate and cross-check evidence and that sort of thing, right? But like, you see all these people online, like, you know, I've channeled this, so I've automatic. It's like you could only find there's a few people that I've met that can actually do it and give it any sort of credence, right? Like channel sort of things like predictions and channel sort of this information. And this sort of Galactic Federation of Light, you know, has been around for 40, 50 years, you know, in one sort of shape or form. But, you know, it's not something that's not hard to find out information about, you know, from sort of like sources of like psychics and mystics and that sort of thing. So to actually give that credence, yeah, that's quite the thing, like.
Yeah, I've done channeling many moons ago. Chris, as you know, when we had Paranormal Wales, asked me to do some channeling, and I was like, I said, all right, I'll give it a go, because you know, I'm not one to shy away from anything really, when it comes to information and finding out the truth. So I did it, and I have no recollection of what I said. I was completely in a meditative state, and Chris, I believe, recorded it. But when I remember coming round, and he wasn't his usual happy self. He was quite pale and out. And the information I passed through was basically just saying that they were looking for the spiritual and the physical, and they were looking for that, like someone who's connected to the two, for their own guidance, for their own understanding of the universe and everything else. And I just never paid no mind to it. So that just sounds like it makes sense. You know, you can be.
When I've done when I've done channeling, I've had no memory of it.
Because you see it on Earth, you see it in our system, right? Where you can get so caught up in the system that you become a bit sort of, you know, turned off, if you like, a bit, a bit drony, if you get what I'm saying. And you can be so caught up in the world that is created around us that you don't get time to think about spiritual things, or you don't get time to look into it. And I can imagine that's happened in the universe, where they've created a society where it's more about, colonization and what technology can do for us than what we are really about and what it all means to exist and everything else. And it just made sense to me. And it's what I got from meditation. It's the same sort of thing I was told by the Council of 12 in meditation. We had discussions in length about, quite a few concepts of the world we live in. About caring, about love, and all these sort of like humanistic qualities that we try to portray. And they were just wanted to know my thoughts and feelings on it. And so if you look at that, it just makes sense.
Now, yeah, I believe obviously it's what they've chosen to give the credibility to is what I find really interesting. Not so much that these groups are out there and they're interacting with the Earth or interacting with people, or they're even like some of them are incarnate on the planet at the moment. It's more what this guy. It's like what I wouldn't trust these types of people if they told me rain was wet. So, do you know what I mean? It's the fact that now the media has got on this. They've ridiculed it. Don't get me wrong. They've completely ridiculed it. But the fact for someone for the both of us who've been having this communication for, 7 odd years now, going back to 2013. And the fact that I'm going to show you guys a video here. I'm just going to put the camera on you for a second, Rich, just so I can bring this up on screen. It's a very short clip. And this very short clip is from 2017. And it's basically back in 2018. Back in 2018, what I was doing for the channel is I was doing a couple of Ghost Box sessions live, which we kind of shouldn't have been doing. And I was doing readings at the same time. We called it Monday Messages, and it went on for about a month and a half, something like that. Because of personal reasons, I stopped it when we stopped the channel at that point. But I did a SB7 session, and it says something really interesting in this, Rich, right? And it's the fact that it's a future prediction. And given the information we put out a couple of weeks ago on this channel about the certain things that's going to happen, and we're going to come to that towards the end of the show, because I've plotted out a couple of things to look over. I want you to take a look at this and just sort of the implications of this. So I'm gonna play the video now. This is only a couple of second clip. It's not a long clip at all, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it further.
According to spirits.
Now, to me, that happened, or that took place before the impeachment. Now, I've noticed when these statements are about things like politicians and that thing, you can actually take them both ways, whether they're for or against, or whether they're kind of in the middle. But I just went through, I was going back through the channel, basically, Rich, and I found that in one of our previous videos, and that was before the impeachment.
Well, as you know, it said some pretty crazy things that we cross-referenced and found out. I mean, when it talked about the mountains and we looked it up, and it was an incredible UFO hotspot. And I think it's got something Valiant for from the Stranger at the Pentagon. I mean, if most of you, like the people, the para peeps are watching, and you see the connections, all right, and they're incredible, right? And you don't even see them at the time. I mean, we've done this many times, Jaron. We've looked back, and so something's happened on message board. But it's all the synchronicities and the cross references, and it just keeps happening, and it's an incredible thing, and I think it's purposefully done. It's just a little bit.
Well, it's
just that little.
We had I won't bring it up because I don't want to call it for time. But I've actually got something of that I can actually demonstrate to you now, Rich. That happened around about the same time.
Okay.
Right? Let's link it to something that's going on now. Now, I don't know if this is anything. Right? I don't know if this is anything at all. Right? But it's just something I thought it could be fun to do because we've covered it before on the channel. And I think it would be good for us to discuss this anyway. And that's these monoliths that keep popping up. And how many monoliths do you reckon have been erected now since the one that was found in Utah about 2 weeks ago?
It was on the count of about 20 that I genuinely thought were monoliths. But I did see a funny advert today saying they were selling them buy one get one free in Asda's. So I mean, they're popping up like daisies.
Well,
so
I'm on about
there's a lot.
I'm on about 35, and I haven't even got to the US or Australia yet. There's 35 in Europe alone.
Right.
So I'm gonna bring this up on screen now. Just go to the browser. There's an article here I wanted to talk about Macho Pacquiao. It's basically, I was going to use this as an example just to so you guys got this on screen. I was going to use this as an example just to say, like, this is the kind of stuff we normally get when we have bigwigs talking about aliens. That they're going to be giant mushroom clouds or, like, some sort of weird amoeba or something. I'll put the link in the description below for that. But this is the list of monoliths. Right, this is a Wikipedia. It came up on Wikipedia, so it's a full list, right? And I wanna bring your attention to some of these. Basically, like a lot of them appear in the wilderness, a lot of them appear on hills, right? There was basically like the one in Morocco appeared next to a logistics company. I suppose, so some of these could be fake. Right, I'm not saying not all of them couldn't be. Some of them have been taken down, but I found some really, really interesting ones that I wanted to highlight, and I'm just going to bring this in. There's one which was near Brittany, which I want you to Normandy, sorry, which I want to just be aware of, and. Again, it's around about 4 in a lot of the main countries. Some again have been taken away. Others have, like this one that appeared like next to a convenience store and they didn't take credit for it. Poland. Now this was the most interesting one I found. On the 9th of December, a steel monolith was discovered in Kazalinia Nature Reserve in Kilis. And since been fenced off with tape due to the possible increase of radiation in the area. There's ones that have been taken out of the snow. There's one in Russia. There's one in Slovenia, which I think there's 2 in Slovenia. Was discovered. Around structure was discovered near the town of Leon, Spain. The local council advised that no one were near the area due to dangerous landscape. So this is the one in Spain. Apparently, appeared in an area that's very, very hard to get to, and it was then subsequently removed and apparently put down as a joke by villagers. What I'm finding really interesting, right, is the dates. When you're looking at the dates, there's seems to be a high degree on the 8th, 9th, 10th and 12th. And I'm just going to bring the map up here. So this is the map that I did. No, that's not the map I did. Where's the map I did? Just going to bring that up here. Sorry, there's so many tabs I've got open because there's so much information. This is the map. So just going to bring it into Europe. Now, those of you who followed us for a while talked about will remember us putting a video out when we did the Now investigations called UFOs and the Bible Code. And in that video, I talked about certain ley lines. And in particular, there's one that goes basically from Land's End and it comes out here on the sort of back end of Norfolk. Right, so sort of like King's Lynn area, I think it is. Right, so it goes up. It basically goes up that way, and if you look at all the churches and things, right, they are basically on either side of this ley line. But the monoliths in the UK kind of follow that path. They don't follow it exactly, but they do kind of follow that kind of specific line. And I don't know whether there's... I can't sort of seem to find a discernible pattern, but that was the one that kind of struck me, because the ones in Britain, they kind of line up in the ones of Scandinavia. So I imagine that line keeps on going in that sort of general direction. So if at some point you will get somewhere like it'll go through Estonia and that sort of area up here. Yeah. But I don't know if can you see the map on your screen now?
Yeah. I can see it. I know what you're saying, but it follows these ley lines.
There's obviously going to be some fakes in here, and there's more work to be done because. But if you look on the left hand side, I don't know if you'll be able to see it if you're watching on your phone, but we've got the 10th of December, the 8th of December, 12th of December, 10th, 9th. They're a lot of these monoliths seem to be going up on the same days.
Well, I wrote a little bit on Facebook, if you remember, a couple of I think it was about a week back, and I said, "Para peeps, I'm going to say this monolith thing. I'm going to say it's not an artist." And because they're popping up like daisies, and in the light of this lockdown and everything else and all the restrictions we got, I can't see how they're moving these things. Now, I've seen the one in the Isle of Wight now, and it was basically mirrored. And you've got three sorts. You've got the ones that look like they were built in somebody's shed, and this guy has never used a grinder in his life, and they've just been battered. You had the mirrored sort with the pointy tops, and then you had the original type, which started in Utah, which is the prism, the triangular prism, a polyhedron, I believe it is. And so you've got three different types. You can rule the mirrored ones out, I think, right? Because they've seemed to popped up in touristy spots, and it's just a bit of a gimmick. But if you go down your conspiracy route now, if we go and say, right, aliens have done something and they've put these monoliths here because they're making us aware of something. Now, there's two things that's going to happen. One, the government is going to jump all over that, right? And they're going to be in, like I said, some domes before you can say, what the hell was that? But in light of the publicity of the Utah one, they're going to have a difficult time to do that. So what would you do to take the focus on something that really might be happening? You'd put up fake ones, right? You'd be slapping at mirrored ones. You'd be slapping at these ones. You'd be just popping them everywhere, right? They'd be popping up like daisies, right? Because everybody would just go, I thought it was something like... And then you've got an artist saying, oh, yeah, it was me. And then you got this, and then you got that, and it kind of, if you want to go down that road, it seems like that's what's happened. Right? So if you went down the road of it was all copycats, now I've seen some ones which are, they are ropey, right? They are questionable. I mean, the one in Isle of Wight has been graffiti and somebody's pulled it open. But it's a bit, pardon me, it's a bit of a coincidence of the time scale, right? With this, obviously, this alignment that's happening on the 21st of December, right?
Yeah.
And you've got the Bethlehem star appearing as well. And
isn't that the same thing?
I'm not sure if it is. I'm not sure if it is, because basically it looks like Jupiter and Saturn, are going to collide. But I've been trying to read it, and I don't think it is the actual same thing, right? It might be, but what I've been reading, it isn't, because I thought that's what it was. It's the alignment, looks like the Bethlehem star. But apparently there's something else. So I've been trying to find information on it, but it's a bit vague. But with everything that's going on, it just adds a bit more. It's added a bit more mystery to it, and I find the timing a bit skew-iff, to be honest with you. It's the timing
of all of it, especially with this, with this Israeli defense guy coming out as well. There's
the time
with everything. Yeah,
the timing of it. I mean, it's all a bit sus, and in light of everything that's been going on, and I've said this, I've wanted to do a video on the reasons why I believe what I believe in all this coronavirus stuff, and it's all fitting in with the way the world is at the moment. I mean, it's more than just a virus. It's become more than that in the UK. I mean, you've got other countries that have just sailed through it, right? Like Taiwan and different places. They've just gone back to normal. Their life is, it's like, did it happen? For us, they're dragging their feet with this they're pushing their luck. I mean, you were telling me the day they were on about Sage in the UK is on about cancelling Christmas, which is, if you think about subversive control, right, mind control, I mean, that's up there in the big leagues, right? Cancelling one of the most, freeing, loving, hopeful times of the year. I mean, Christmas. I mean, two sides of a war stopped and had a game of football on Christmas. That's the type of feeling that comes with Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas armistice. I mean, that's the kind of feelings that we, go hand in hand with Christmas. And the fact is, they're going to say, "Oh, we should cancel Christmas." I mean, it's all tying into this pattern that somebody is trying to damp us down. I mean, it's like, there's so many things. If you really look for them, they'll blow your mind. It's like the hertz of music. The sound frequency of music is set at a certain frequency. I've been looking at this, and I've been trying to do some research.
Funny enough, I was looking at that as well today.
Absolutely balmy. It separates. Yeah, it doesn't resonate with your heart. It resonates with your mind. Yeah. And I reckon this certain frequency will make you have pretty crap thoughts, and it separates your mind from your heart. And I think it's in like 5.2 hertz between, and over 7.2 is where you resonate with your heart and your mind. And, if you look at some of this stuff, and it's all starting to come to the surface, and it's all starting to bubble up, and it's all starting to be making to people's awareness, because it's needed. It's absolute necessity.
Yeah.
That we and go, do you know what? We can't carry on like this. And, this fits in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's just take a look at that alignment then. We'll come out of the map for now. But yeah, I'll post a link. I think I can make this public and actually post a link. And any of you guys want to add sites to it, yeah, please feel free. Just put the place. Like I've put UK 1 or UK2, UK3. USA 1 isn't there at the moment because that will be the Utah one. But all the others, just if anyone wants to add to this map, please feel free. I'll post this in the description below, and when the video is processed tomorrow, you should be able to access it then. So just close that down for a second. Right. Okay, so let's have a look at this alignment. Is an article we've got here. It says, while it might not sound like Saturn and Jupiter will be pretty darn close to... While it might not sound like much, Saturn and Jupiter will be pretty darn close to one another in the night sky soon. Those two planets will be facing the Great Conjunction on December the 21st. This, for those who do not know, means that the two planets will be meeting one another in the night sky. Right now they are very close to one another, and they are still a bit off from where they will be in the coming weeks. If you look at the moon now, chances are you will see these two planets just above or near one another. That being said, by the time December 21st rolls around, they will be appearing by the to be right on top of one another in the sky, whilst in the celestial world they will still be a bit far off from one another. It won't look as such to us here on Earth, as they are closest here. They will only be a mere 0.1 degrees apart. So there's a bit of information there on this.
Well, it happens every 20 years apparently, right? That they come, but this particular one, happens every 800. Now, 800 years ago, there's been written in history that I think globally there was an aurora, right? You can look this up. Somewhere I've seen it, I've read it. There was an aurora all over the world, and they reported it. They wrote about it because obviously it's a strange phenomenon at any time. And if we're looking at all the things that's going on and on about this with the solar flares and everything else, I mean, it's this alignment is something, right? For it to be happening now, and for its significance in astrology and everything else, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty big, and maybe it is a sign. And I noticed somebody said, "What if if it's God's timing?" It is everything that we're going through at the moment. I believe is God's timing, and I've said this before on the channel. We're children, and this planet needs a big wake up. It really does. It needs some people need to be put on God's knee, and in a lesson. And I think it is. I think this. I mean, what Jesse Ann said with the codes, and what's happening next year, and what we'd expect it to go through. We wouldn't have to go through it if we were a bit more united.
Well, I'm going to bring this back up on screen here. Now, this is apparently was photographed in the Northern Lights. It says photographer sees giant phoenix in Northern Lights. Now, we had Garrick King on our show on Wednesday, and he was doing visual ITC with basically black mirrors and the infinite loop technique. And for visual ITC, this is a pretty big unbat. Stretching across, a giant night sky. This is quite something. It says, for many, simply witnessing the Northern Lights can be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Photographer Hallgrimur P. Helgeson has had the pleasure several times, but perhaps no other time has measured up to this recent photo shot. It's really a thrill shooting the aurora, especially when they are so playful, like they were in the night of they were that night. It's basically so he's used to, like most other things, the Aurora Borealis making orbs, but that is incredible. That's a phoenix, like.
Yeah.
That
it's all signs. It's all signs in the sky. I mean, I think we're ready for disclosure, right? I think that there's enough people on this earth who have a good spiritual grounding, and I think there's enough of us that's ready to teach those who don't, right? And I think that's what this is. Whichever way you look at it, this year has been absolutely balmy, right? For the stuff that's gone on.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
The list is ridiculous. I mean, we were doing news videos. I mean, it was like we did a news thing. It was the first 13 days of 2020. 13 world-changing events happened. And it's crazy. I mean, and I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see what's next. I mean, it gives us. I mean, because we put the Council of 12 stuff out there, right? And it's been we talked about it and thought, well, how are we going to put this out there? And because they were asking us to, basically, they were asking us to say, look, you're not alone, and you have this potential, and we want to have this world that you deserve, and that you should have, and we don't want it to be controlled, we don't want it to be messed with. We wanted to take these people out of their positions of power, not hurt them, right? Just take them out of their positions of power. What is 150 billionaires in the UK now, right? The social, well, it's more. I think it's insane, the amount, and the social divides we have in this world. And you've got out in China now, right? The Black Death has reared this like ugly head, which can be treated with antibiotics, right? Because they eat muskrat. And
just to cut you off just slightly, Rich, hold that thought. I just want to Evan Sill, if you've got anything on the Gemini meteor shower, what you were writing in the chat, I would love to be able to read that out, because you've just caught my eye with something there. Rich, please continue.
Oh yeah, and they keep eating these animals, right? Because they're poor, right? They're hungry. If it's crawling along the floor and you're hungry, you're likely to eat it. And they keep bringing up these viruses keep appearing. I'm not saying about the coronavirus, mind, because if you do research, you'll hear that the coronavirus was patented, and it is illegal, I think, for any country in the world to patent anything that is found in nature. So the fact that they have patents for the coronavirus, SARS, and influenza is a bit sus. But anyway, on a different subject, and we keep repeating ourselves. And I've said this on the channel since we started. They kept mentioning it to me when I was meditating. You need to stop repeating the mistakes we made. Stop repeating the mistakes we made, and because it's all meaningless. It's all just nonsense. This world needs a wake up, and we can do it. That's what they're trying to tell us, and we were scared about putting the Council of 12 stuff out there because we thought it's going to go out there and people are just going to go nutters, swipe left. But it turns out we're not so nuts after all, Jazzy.
No, well, the other thing as well, even still love. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. The other thing that you mentioned there about the eclipse. It's been 3.5 years since the eclipse in America. Is that the last solar eclipse that we had on the planet, or because there was? I remember that eclipse happening. And I remember there people saying that's going to be really, really, really interesting. And it brings me back to a Ghost Box session I did on the 3rd of October on this channel. And it's in several of the videos now. It's in the video that I'll link in the description below. It's the one that came out and said by everyone receiving the same message. It's in that one. and it says something about 33 and a third. And I wonder whether that is relevant to that eclipse. And what she also said is the meteor shower now, the Gemini meteor shower, there's 150 meteors per hour, I believe, is what she was saying. So, that is 3 times as much. That's absolutely crazy. And greetings from Norway greetings from Wales to Seidvik in Norway. Fantastic. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching this show tonight. It is absolutely brilliant to have you. Thank you so much.
ZX8 and Solar Function and Adrian and everyone, everyone that comes on here and has that conversation in the chat. Thank you guys. Love.
We will try and do more and more of these updates because we try and do the Now News videos and it's very hard to get to put everything in into those Now News videos. That's why we wanted to go over this. What I wanted to touch on as well is another prediction that they made, and they made this in June. This was 2015. It says the Earth's magnetic field would start speeding up. Well, it's now moving so fast they have to change its location of magnetic north.
I know.
So, that's another crazy. We'll add that to the 2020 list. This is another article. Driver spoke of strange monolith hovering in the skies above the Pacific Northwest. Now, this I found quite strange, and you'll be able to see see it on screen now. Weird sunset on my way home tonight, and that's a giant monolith in the sky.
I mean, the UFO. The UFO phenomena that is ramped up this year, right? Because people have been.
But that looks like one of those monoliths, but.
Yeah, it does. It does. I tried to enlarge the picture because it looks like, and I can't tell if it's a scroll or something at the bottom of the monolith. And I've been trying to I tried to enhance it and enlarge the picture, and I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. But yeah, that is quite something.
Have a look at that now. If you have a look at it, yeah. Oh wow!
It is some sort.
You can actually see the ground where it's planted. Look, and yeah, you've got a scroll. Now the interesting
I couldn't zoom in. I don't know.
Well, I've zoomed it in here, so you should see it more. That's as far as I can get it.
It's odd. I don't know if he's taking this. I thought I saw the roof of the car, so he's outside of the car. If he was taking this in the car, then I'd be like, because you see a lot of people doing that, right? And they take UFO videos with their window up, and it's lights. You can see that it's lights reflected from the street they drive down.
But it could be taken in his car, but look how small it is, Pat.
Yeah. No,
if you look at the one, look at it in comparison to the telegraph pole, that wouldn't be something in his car. That wouldn't be a reflection of something in his car.
No, I know. That's what I was trying to. You've got to try and debunk it. You've got to try and do your best. And I was just left with, that is pretty balmy. That is an incredible photo, and I've seen, as you know, over the years, I've been asked to look at strange photos, and they are some of the phenomena that you pick up. You couldn't say that was a light flare, right? Because that is not what a light flare looks like. It is odd. That is an odd image.
Well, there's one in Australia. I haven't got the article for it now, and I haven't got the heart to go looking for it. I don't want to make a habit of doing that, but I'll put it in the description below. There's one in Australia that had coordinates transcribed on it. One was for a nondescript red brick building, or brownstone building in Brooklyn in New York. The other set of coordinates was a island near Guam, and the third one was the Sphinx. Now, again, it could simply be a hoax or something like that, because the Sphinx is just asking for it, really, isn't it? Let's just be honest.
I know.
It's the most mysterious statue on Earth, for God's sake. It's definitely, it's asking for it,
But it's way, the face isn't the original face. It's way older than we can possibly imagine.
Mm.
There's things they discover and they're suppressing all the time. If you look at Cooper's treasure and the guy that did that, and that object he found that was on Cooper's map, because Cooper was traveling around space and he had special camera equipment that could see through the ocean, right? That could see the bottom of the ocean.
Mm.
And he mapped this because he was a treasure hunter, and he mapped things. He wrote them down. He booked it yay thick, and he wrote down the coordinates and what he thought it was, and they go there and they found a structure. Now, there's 15 arms coming off this thing, and it's not coral, because these things are the length of 2 football pitches. Coral in its structure cannot hold that sort of weight, right? It couldn't. It's quite easily to break, actually, coral.
Mm-hmm.
They keep suppressing it. I mean, they just found this pyramid now in somewhere in Kuala Lumpur, and this is poured concrete. They separated this concrete. They found a leaf. They carbon date it. It's 38,000 years old, and they just want to keep suppressing it. It's like a friend of mine said it in a conversation. The Vatican Library, if you stack every bookshelf end to end, is 36 miles long, but yet we all follow one book. And that kind of sums it up. It kind of sums it up, this information that this libraries that are 500 years old, there's books on top of them shelves, no one's, they've not looked at in 500 years. The information is suppressed, right? That's a given. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's fact, right? We know that's fact. Mm-hmm. We know our technology, the technology we received is 40 years behind what they actually have, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's just, it just keeps going through this cycle. Somebody said on the, who was it? Tessa said, it looks like a hologram. They've got technology. They've been doing it in China, and they create dragons in the sky. And you've got drones now that can create patterns in the sky, and that's just, they're toys. So, I mean, the stuff we don't know about that is going on with our own government, let alone what's out there in the universe, but just within our own government is crazy.
Well, I want to end tonight. Was there anything you wanted to cover quickly before I go into the end segment of tonight?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it all for this. News.
Basically, what I wanted to do for the end part is recap a session. Now, this session is on the channel. It's not all of the session. This is a session that was taken in 2018, and we believe it was the Council of 12 speaking to us. I wasn't actually present for that. Richard, you were. It was using the Q3 Mark II, and it was actually causing a bit of a stir in the room because it was coming through in quite a scary kind of fashion. I wanted to...
Is it Penny, is it?
Say again? It's the
is
one...
This Abergavenny?
Yeah, it's the one when we did sort of around the area of Abergavenny.
Yeah.
But basically, I wanted to listen to what it actually says and think about some of the things that we've been through. If you want to view the full session, there is a video of this full session on the channel under the Council of 12 playlist, and I will link to that in the description below as well. So by tomorrow, that you should be able to find that when this video is finished processing. So I'm gonna put this up on screen now, guys, and then we'll discuss it when we come back.
Calling to spirits of light and love, can you come forward and communicate with us through this device? The United States will gain control.
Yeah. And then we just weren't able to.
What is this thing talking about? Spirits of light and love, please come forward and communicate with us, please. Oh my God! They'd be coming up here now. We'd be all sitting in the corner cutting. They'd be like, I'm not going to do. Oh Christ! But oh, it's amazing.
No, there's another app you can use with the internet. Just
I got him. 21 in the Lord. My phone come out my pocket for some reason. Right.
what's in here now? Right, we'll try this. Try this for a second.
So basically that was the session, and just some of the responses there compared to what we've seen already. And we guys, we've talked about these different sessions. Some of these sessions are from years ago. Like, you know, when these sessions were recorded, we had no earthly idea as to what we were getting. It's only sort of been the last year that we've been able to sort of process this and talk about it properly. And you can go back to, you know, the first video we ever put on this channel was the end of 2016, I believe, or beginning of 2017, and because we were using a different YouTube channel before that. But, you know, all of our original content, we've never taken anything down. You can go back and listen to the talks and discussions that we've had. And that shocked me. That took me back when I watched that. Rich, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But I was just thinking about, just to give people a bit of a reference, the reason why you heard us, well, you heard me hysterically laughing, is because I'm on mute.
No, you were on mute. I muted you whilst people were watching.
Oh, sorry, right.
So they wouldn't have heard you laugh. Yeah, we can hear you, but they didn't hear you when the video was playing.
Oh, no, I was talking about me laughing in the video.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, I took a group and we used that device, and Martin, who was one of our investigators at the time, put that device on. And they were just looking at me in disbelief because, as you can hear, we could hear that in real time.
Yeah.
And I just was in a predicament because it was saying all this biblical stuff. It was talking about like wars and the end of the world and everything. And I was trying to say, this is how spirit communicate with us, and you might get some. And that came through the session, and I was crying. because it literally scared poor buggers to death.
Well, it's one bit that says, you know, the world, you will see biblical flame and fire before that, and sort of riots. People will have to change their. You know, this is 2018. No one had ever heard of COVID. The first thing that comes out of it, if you watch the full session, is COVID sets in. New routines are necessary. It's just like, I remember transcribing. I was like, "What the fuck is COVID?" It sounds like some it sounds like some video format from the 70s, and they made like Betamax or something. You know, a laserdisc like. That's what I thought it was. I was like, "What the hell is a COVID? What does that do?"
No, having a conversation, we were like COVID. Yeah, that's what it came out with. That's what it came out with. That's the stuff they said. And I can remember I had to try and talk these people down because they were like literally hanging from the rafters. And I remember trying to explain to you at the time. And, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's there. You can go and listen to it, Jazz. If people are asking if you can put a link to that session.
Yeah, if you bear with me a second, I can actually... just bear with me a second. I will put a link in the chat if people actually want to. Because
don't give us a sec. We don't know what's happening. Yeah.
hello. Aha. Right. Sorry about that. I think we are live.
Are we back?
Are we back? Just need to. I think so. I think we've got people back.
Yes.
Can you see us on the chat? To answer the question about the alternative channel on BitChute, we are looking at setting that up, but we haven't got to that point yet. It's basically we've got so much footage and so much stuff we've done over the years. It's having to put it all back onto the There's 240 odd videos on this channel, so we will be setting that up and hopefully be ready to go by the new year. Right, guys, I will put that link to that video in the description below this video. I'm not going to mess around with it again because I don't know what.
Can you? We're not on YouTube, but I've got YouTube in front of me. We're not on there.
You might have to reset it, but because people in the chat can see us.
Right there, then let's have a look. All right.
We are on YouTube because people in the chat can actually see us.
Okay. Sorry, we're back. I restarted when it was just nothing. Right.
Yeah, so I'll put that link. Basically, it's in the Council of 12 playlist. It is. And it was published around April of this year. So if you go back on our videos to about April of this year, I'll see if I can find it now. So I don't know what happened there, guys. Basically, as I was looking at that link for you, my computer blue screened. Now, I've never had my computer blue screen before. That basically obviously cut the stream off and cut Skype off. Yeah, I don't particularly know kind of what happened to your end, buddy.
Tablet went off. Just went off. I tried to click back on it. I've got 3 security warnings on my tablet, which I'll have a look into now when we end. One was Samsung, one was Google, one was email, I believe.
Right, that was probably YouTube telling you that there's something interrupted the stream. We'll have to have a look at them. I'm actually looking for the link now. I've got the link here. I'll post it in the chat for you guys. But yeah, exciting times. We've actually been booted offline, or something has happened. I'm not sure if we've been booted offline, but something has happened to us.
Won't be the first time that.
No.
The laughs.
There you go. There's the link to the full message, guys. I've just posted it in the chat there. So, well, breaking news. We've got computer trouble again. But it just completely, my computer just went, your device has made an error and needs to restart. It made a bit of an sound, and that was it.
Well, I thought it was my fault because my tablet went off. I looked at the screen and the screen was swirling on YouTube, and I was like, "What?" And I was pressing the button. I was like, What happened there?" Well, just what can you do? You just put it down to it is what it is. Seems to be a common theme when we're talking about this stuff, doesn't it?
It can happen now and again, yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll get to say goodbye the proper way this time. We have had confirmation that we have got Lainey and Ben with us on Wednesday for the Now debate. So we have confirmation of that, Richard. And we'll be putting the event up for that tomorrow. Please share that. They are a lovely couple. I know you spoke to Lainey and Ben. Have a look at their YouTube channel, which is, I think it's actually just called Lainey and Ben, their YouTube channel, am I right?
Yeah, Lainey and Ben.
How some of the activity that these guys have documented since we went to lockdown is absolutely crazy. So yeah, basically they are coming on this Wednesday, and for the last two Now debates of the year, we have a special which we can now announce because it has been recorded. Would you like to announce it, Richard? Because I know you're busting at the seams to announce this one.
We have Kent Burris from Ghost of Carmel, Maine. We had a 5-hour conversation with the gentleman yesterday.
Absolutely brilliant, top-notch fella.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, I mean, his story, guys, if you want to see someone who's really delved into investigating the paranormal, he is the guy to watch, right? You might see stuff, and he talked about this openly, that he's got people who's tried to debunk him, and he's got people who've said this and said that, and his YouTube channel's unmonetized. It's under educational purposes, and just having a conversation with a man, you know that what he's filmed. And it's incredible. And I can't wait to show it. I can't wait, like you said, he was a lovely guy. And it's just an incredible investigation that he's done into the paranormal. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And anything, we also have 3 more, because we decided again still, it was my idea basically to do the spiritual development videos on the Saturday and Sunday, for Richard's to go out the Saturday, mine to go out the Sunday. But the thing is, guys, with live shows, it's easier to keep to a schedule. When you're pre-doing shows, it's a bit harder. Now, Richard has filmed 2 spiritual development videos, and I have filmed another one. So we're going to put these videos out as and when, so in the next couple of days. Because they are going to be useful videos. We don't need to put them out on a set day. I think I know quite a lot of you have responded to the videos that we've done so far. And Richard, you've done one on types of psychic ability. And I think I'm going to do one on, elaborate more on empaths, because that's one of the things I want to explore. And you have started doing some videos on pendulum and crystal work. So they will be coming out in the next couple of days as well, this week. And moving into 2021, we do have some confirmed shows there. We are now booked up until the middle of February. So we are now potentially booked up until the middle of February. I see potential is always we'll always go with that card subject to change. But what we will try and do is put out some more Now News episodes. We want to put some, like a bit of a recap of the year. Maybe we'll do that as if you guys find that us doing a Now debate on a Sunday rather than doing Now News videos dotted round everywhere is better, let us know, because I think tonight is our largest live audience we've ever had.
Did you say a recap of the year, Ja?
Yeah.
It's got Benny Hill music to it. Yeah, yeah, a recap of the year. I don't know if we want to do that, to be honest with you. I don't think. Yeah, we got some stuff. We got some interesting stuff coming up, guys. We got some really interesting stuff coming, and hopefully, we might be doing our own investigations and stuff after in the new year, and you'll get to see it, hopefully, guys, because we'll be doing, some stuff as well. Fingers crossed, and yeah, it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be interesting, and if you got. We say this on the channel. If you've got any questions, if there's anything you guys want us to investigate or look into, let us know in the chat. Drop us a message. All the information you need to contact us is just below the screen, just below our handsome faces. And just tell anything. We love it. Everything fascinates me, right? I mean, it can be right out there, right? I love it. And Jazz is saying,
yeah,
let us know. We'll look into it.
We are getting some of you contact us with some things that you're witnessing, and it ties into things, so it helps us as well. So it helps us and it helps you. This is how this works. And we are going to be changing the Facebook group to involve a few, because with Facebook, with the groups, they do it more on. I'll actually get around to doing that tomorrow, Rich. But we are going to set up a Facebook group specifically for people who want help with the paranormal or wish to offer help on the paranormal. All about helping each other on our paranormal and spiritual journey. And so basically, we will put the links for them in future videos. We are looking, as people have asked, on getting on BitChute and brand new Tube. If you guys got any suggestions for other platforms you'd like to see us on, we're looking at TikTok as well to do some of the more poignant short clips from our investigations, and we're hoping to maybe in the new year stream these Now debates and Now news updates live from our Facebook page as well. So thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for what has become an incredible year. You guys coming in and joining these conversations and helping us get to the bottom of what the hell's going on is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very, very much indeed. And I'll see you soon in another video.
Yeah, same here. Love and light, para peeps. See you in the next video.
Take care of yourselves, everyone. Be safe. Love ya.